Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all 100%. Today it's episode 14 of Power Pop Shakers, and this is where I talk about Power Pop new releases and the odd reissue as well. If you go to my channel and click on playlists, you can listen to the tracks I'm talking about today. And the first track I've uploaded to the playlist is Red Kross Neurotica Demo. Merge Records has put out a 35th anniversary edition of the album Neurotica. It's available on double LP, also on CD, and on both versions you get 12 extra demo tracks as well. These are pop songs delivered with a punk energy. Tommy Ramone produced it, and you've got Roy McDonald, the drummer from the Muffs, taking part as well. The pop culture references made this record sound nostalgic even back in 1987. Moving on, we've got the BETHS and Silence is Golden. This is taken from their album Expert in a Dying Field, which is due out on the 16th of September this year on Car Park and Ivy League, and it'll be available on a gatefold LP, also on CD and cassette. Singer-songwriter Elizabeth Stokes really excels with her wordplay on this track, and this will be the third album by these New Zealanders. Next, we've got a 7-inch single by The Kring. I've uploaded the A-side, Keep Her in Mind. They're a trio that comes from Meppel in the Netherlands, and it's out on a new French label called Rogue. It's a garage rock, but with pleasing pop hooks and a late 70s sounding production. Next up, I've uploaded the track Surrender to the Rhythm by Rusty. Rusty were a band led by D.P. McManus and Alan Mays. After 50 years, they have reunited to put together this celebration of their first band. D.P. McManus went on to record as Elvis Costello, of course. This 6-track mini-album includes 2 originals written in 1971, a couple of covers of Nick Lowe, and also covers of Jim Ford and Neil Young tracks. The album is called The Resurrection of Rust. Bob Andrews, who played the Hammond organ in Brinsley Schwartz and recorded obviously the original version of Surrender to the Rhythm, appears on this track. And also elsewhere on the album you've got Pete Thomas and Steve Naive from The Attractions and The Imposters. The next track I've uploaded to the Power Pop Shakers playlist is by Armchair Oracles, and it's called Addicted to the Ride. This is available as a digital single. They're a Norwegian band. If you like classic period teenage fan club, I think you'll enjoy this. This track is due to be included on their much anticipated third album, Caught by Light. Next, it's Martin Courtney, and I've uploaded the track Corn Cobb, and this is taken from his second solo album, Magic Sign, which is available on vinyl and CD on the Domino label. In his day job, he's the guitarist and vocalist with Real Estate. He's developing, I think, into one of the more accomplished songwriters of his generation. Next, we've got a reissue, and I've uploaded Phil Seymour's track Dancing a Dream, and it's taken from his second album 2, which was released back in 1985 and has now been reissued on CD on Sunset Boulevard. His solo work was a continuation of his rockabilly-infused twanging guitar power pop with the Dwight Twilley Band. Amongst the other tracks on this album is the unreleased song called Surrender by his friend Tom Petty. Right, next up I've uploaded 3 tracks from the early 70s. Rockin' Horse, Biggest Gossip in Town, Starry-Eyed and Laughing, Going Down, and the Hammersmith Gorillas, Leaving Home. And these tracks all come from a new cherry red 3 CD box set called Miles Out to Sea, The Roots of British Power Pop 1969 to 1975. The title track is a gem from Slade, and other artists included that have caught my eye are Honeybus, Brinsley Schwartz, Unicorn, Jerry Rafferty, Badfinger, The Move, and Jimmy Campbell. Moving on, I've uploaded Fortunately by the Licorice Quartet, and it's taken from the Threesome Volume 3 EP, which is available on vinyl or CD on the Low Jinx label. And the Licorice Quartet, in case you don't know, are 3/4 of Jellyfish. So you've got Roger Manning, Eric Dover and Tim Smith. Tim Smith's vocals on Fortunately remind me quite a lot of Green Gartside from Scritti Politti. Okay, moving on, and we come to Marc Valentine, and I've uploaded the tracks Last Train Tonight and also Mornington Avenue, which includes contributions from Matt Dangerfield from The Boys. This is from Marc Valentine's debut solo album Future Obscure, and he's also the frontman with Last Great Dreamers. This has rightly been getting rave reviews, as it sounds like a 1977 power pop lost classic. Even Mojo magazine has reviewed it, and they said that it's gender subverting power pop and bubblegum glam nuggets, the kind Greg Shaw would have loved. Next up, we've got Marco Basata, and I've uploaded Sunken Ships, taken from his debut album Night of My Times, which is out on vinyl on the Bickerton label. Originally he comes from Brazil, but has resided in London for a few years now, and he's played in a number of bands prior to doing this solo record. He was in More Kicks for a while, a band I've mentioned in Power Pop Shakers before. Next up, we've got the Lunar Towers and Happy as Larry, which is the second digital single by this UK four-piece. They have real potential, writing catchy guitar pop songs with some lovely three-part harmonies. Next, we move to Denmark and Northern Portrait, and I've uploaded the track Once Upon a Bombshell, which is taken from this band's second album, The Swiss Army, which is coming out very shortly on CD and vinyl on the Matinee Recordings label. It's due out on the 29th of July 2022. You'd swear they were Britpop, should have been stars from the 1990s. The vocals certainly recall Morrissey or Gene. If you crave jangling guitars, you should explore further. Next up, we've got Some Hearts and Hearts on the Run. Following on from a digital EP they recorded in 2021 comes this digital single. They come from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it's good old-fashioned rock and roll with a power pop edge. If I was responsible for A&R at a major label in America, I think I would have snapped them up because they have so much potential. Right, and moving on, we've come to AMOEBA Teen and the track New Material World. They hail from Stourbridge in the UK, and this track is taken from their second album on the American label Big Stir, and it's out on CD. These are quality songs from this band with very much Britpop influences again, and yes, some real quality songwriting, I think. And talking of quality songwriting, we come to The Feeling and the track There Is No Music, and they are one of the very best UK pop groups of the last 20 years. And this track is taken from their sixth album, Lost Hope Love. Frontman Dan Gillespie-Sells is a songwriter who I think can stand comparison with some of the top 70s pop bands such as 10cc, Supertramp. There's intelligent lyrics and clever arrangements which keep you listening. It's a skill that very few musicians have, and they're touring at the moment here in the UK. Next up, it's an act that Russ, who runs the channel Mama's Records, has told me about, and Camp Trash. I've uploaded two tracks by them, Lake Erie Boy and Let It Ride, and these tracks come from their debut album The Long Way, The Slow Way, which is out on vinyl and CD on Count Your Lucky Stars. They're a four-piece from Florida. If you're a fan of The Promise Ring, you can't but fail to fall in love with this band. Next, a band that started out in the 1990s, Fastball, and I've uploaded Electric Kool-Aid, which is from their new album The Deep End on 33 1/3 Records, and it's available on CD. They hail from Austin, Texas, and this is their eighth album over the last 20 years or so. Well, actually more than 20 years, as they put the first record out, I think, in about the mid-90s. Moving on, we come to Michael Head and the Red Elastic Band, and I've uploaded two tracks, Kismet and Broken Beauty, and these two tracks come from the album Dear Scott, which is available on CD and vinyl on Modern Sky. It's produced by Bill Ryder-Jones, who was the ex-guitarist with the Coral, and this is poetic songwriting, achingly beautiful singing, and sympathetic production by Ryder-Jones. As an aside, I'm currently in awe of Ryder-Jones, as I've been playing his debut solo album, which came out about 10 years ago, called If. And I think he's a real talent. And that album, his solo album, first solo album, was recorded with the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra. Right, and to end with, I just noticed in looking at the latest Mojo that the wonderful Paul Beauvoir's album, A Balloon to the Moon, is also reviewed. And they give it 4 stars, and they say it's full of heroes and villains styled LA pop. Okay, and that brings you up to date with the Power Pop releases, but they're coming thick and fast, so expect to see more tracks added to the Power Pop Shakers playlist in the next couple of weeks or so. Okay, take care everyone, and I'll see you again soon.